What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. I am about to put out what I am sure is going to be a very unpopular take and unpopular opinion when it comes to Victor Wembanyama, the French kid playing out in Europe, who is also the greatest draft prospect in NBA history and is, of course, projected to go number one, and is the guy who all these NBA teams that are at the bottom of the barrel are tanking for right now. So what I'm about to say is going to be very unpopular. But hear me out. The last thing I want for Victor Wembanyama, aka Wemby, is for him to get drafted by Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs. Now I can hear the reaction right now. Boo! Wait up. Boo? What are you talking about? Boo? What are you sipping on? You on lean? How many shots did you take? How long you been drinking, boy? I've been drinking my whole life, as a matter of fact. I can hear it. Bro, why wouldn't you want him to go to the Spurs? It's a class organization. Greg Popovich is one of the greatest coaches of all time, arguably the greatest coach of all time. The organization has never had any peril. The organization, they care about their players, they care about their fans. Greg Popovich knows how to coach. He can learn how to play basketball the right way, the correct way. You saw what Greg Popovich did with Tim Duncan, turned him into a champion. Yada, 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 yada. And I get all that. I do. But one thing Greg Popovich is going to do, which he has been known to do to star players, is limit their individual potential. And I hear the outlash. I hear the outcry and the backlash. But it's a team sport. It's a team sport. You should want Wembanyama to play within the confines of the ultimate team and be the ultimate team player and not worry about what he can do and what we can see him do. I get all that. I do. And maybe this is selfish of me. But that's not always the best thing for some players, especially if you're not winning championships. Then what are you sacrificing so much for? And I get it. It's a bit of a selfish take. I get it, boo. I'm losing my mind. I get it. But when we got a kid like this, what is he, like 7'4", 7'5", 7'6", something like that. Freak of nature with shooting guard, point guard abilities at his size. So far, from what I've been watching, there's damn near not anything this kid can't do right now as far as offensively. I have to see more of his playmaking and passing ability, but he's virtually what seems to be unstoppable already. The last thing I want is for Greg Popovich to get a hold of Victor Wembanyama and just stunt his individual growth. And then we really never get to see this kid just dominate. He's going to get over to Greg Popovich, and Pop is going to be like, I want to see the ball passed around 100 times before anyone thinks about shooting. Victor Wembanyama, I want to make sure that ball touches every player's hand at least 3 times within 24 seconds before you think about taking that shot. Shit like that. It's like, no, I want to see Victor Wembanyama get drafted by a team where they drop him into the coals and say, hey, buddy, let's see what you can do off rip. Let's see how you can lead a team. We're going to put the ball in your hands and still, I'm not saying ball hog, still play within the confines of a team, but let me see what you can do. We're not going to hold you back. We're not going to pull on the reins. Let's see what you can do. That is what I want. Because we've never seen a draft prospect quite like this And I want to see what he can bring and how he can impact the league and put on a show and show us what he's capable of off rip. And that's not going to happen with Greg Popovich. And Greg Popovich off rip is going to limit his minutes. You got this young gun, and right now, from what I've seen, is that he doesn't seem to be an injury-prone player at his height, as many players that tall are, and he's functional, and he's coordinated. So I don't see any reason to limit this kid's minutes. But Greg Popovich, I guarantee you, is going to limit this guy's minutes. I don't want to see that. I'm not saying drive the kid into the ground, but he doesn't seem to have a history of injury, and he's a young buck with a bunch of athleticism and energy. Let this kid go. That ain't going to happen with Pop. It ain't. And I do not want him to go to the Spurs for that reason. Let this kid shine off rip. And also, another thing to take in consideration, he's been playing over in Europe. What have we seen from these star European players that are coming over to the league from Europe? These guys have a better sense of basketball and a feel and touch for the game that is better than most of our American athletes in the league. A lot of these star European players are coming in and are essentially, quote unquote, NBA ready or beyond NBA ready by getting drafted. And he's a European player playing in a league which many people now consider to be a tougher league to play in. Even the Europeans in the NBA who are dominating right now are saying, yeah, over there in Europe it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to play basketball. We come over here, this game is easy to us. It's so much easier in the NBA. Yeah. Victor Wembanyama is coming over from that situation to what seems to be an easier league to score now in. So he's going to be more ready than most players getting drafted out of college these days, I would have to imagine, based on what the recent history has shown me. Please, please, please. I just have a feeling he's going to get drafted by the Spurs. I do. Listen, I don't think there's another player. I don't think there's another content creator or person on YouTube that has put a video out about this specifically right here. I think I'm the first one. I don't know, but I'd have to imagine I am. When I mean this video, I mean I don't want him to go to the Spurs. Hell no. As the last thing I want to see this kid shine off rip. Let him go. Let's see what he's capable of, and then go from there. Man, Popovich gonna be in there talking about some 23 to 27 minutes a game for this rookie, and we're just gonna slowly bring him along into the concept of the team. Listen, man. As great as Tim Duncan was, and it all worked out for Duncan, but he was willing to just roll with Popovich, and good on him. But even looking at Tim Duncan's individual numbers, they could have even been better than what they were. But Timmy brought in. But there's other players. I mean, you look at DeMar DeRozan. After he got traded to the Spurs, and he wasn't quite looking like DeMar DeRozan anymore, people started saying DeMar was washed up. And DeMar did not. But the minute he got traded to the Bulls, DeMar started popping off. Was an MVP candidate for quite some time. Well, it was the situation he was in. It wasn't conducive to him as a player. And it's not like they were winning championships over there with the Spurs. Of course, only one team wins the championship. I get it, but you know what I mean. And then everybody just has this. Everybody seems to think that every player within the San Antonio Spurs organization has been extremely happy there and satisfied with their experience with the Spurs. That is absolutely not true. There are a handful of NBA players that are disgruntled about their tenure with the Spurs and dissatisfied and did not like how they were being utilized and did not like the kind of mental games Greg Popovich would try to throw their way. There are a handful of players. So not everything is peaches and cream and roses and strawberries. I don't even know if that's a saying. Over there in San Antonio land. Hey, I know this opinion is unpopular and you probably don't like my reasoning for it, but I'm just being honest. This is how I feel and this is what I want. I'm being selfish, I guess. But hey, Victor Wembanyama, I'm also looking out for you, bro. You don't want to go to the Spurs, man. You don't. You don't. I don't want them to put a lid on you, Victor Wembanyama. I don't want them to assert a ceiling on your potential as an individual player. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to see what you can do. And I'm not just talking statistics, I'm talking everything. Intangibles, exposure, being able to read different situations and act on them accordingly. Exposure, exposure, exposure. Usage, all that stuff. You're not going to be able to really experiment with those things and see how much of a load you can shoulder on the Spurs. You're not. And I believe in you, Victor Wembanyama. Victor, if I'm you, I would say publicly, yo, I'm not playing for the Spurs. I will wait another year before I get drafted and play for the Spurs. I would do it, Vic. I would do it, Victor. Say it. Say it. God, can you imagine the backlash he would get coming in as a rookie for saying that? Shit. That's not going to go over well in the public eye, Victor. But I'm saying it for me, and if you agree with me, Victor, I'm saying it for you, buddy. I'm saying it for you. Man, screw that. I don't want to see him on the Spurs, man. I really don't. I don't. I am praying that the San Antonio Spurs do not get that number one draft pick, man. Greg Popovich, the San Antonio Spurs organization, but really Greg Popovich, keep your lottery balls in your pants, sir. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Let me know what you think about it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell. Stay notified. And I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.